Hello, my little chidlets. Just thought I'd make a video and nothing conclusive, just what I happen to be doing at this particular time. So I've got some music playing. Got my spectrogram up there. And I've also got a little, this is the Stream Deck Plus that is linked via MIDI to this software. But this Stream Deck has also got PC software, so I can press that button and get another page of buttons up here. So this is my timing page, and that helps with setting the delays of every speaker, and every polarity of every speaker, and I can save presets and compare them one to the other. So I was just listening to a timing idea I'd been thinking about since last weekend, and it was, normally I time everything on the button, all the impulses from the first rise, which is this preset. And then I had another preset idea where I just delayed, it came from an idea of delaying the sub seems to always make it fit better in a timing scheme. And I'd already been playing with the idea just casually, but I didn't really know how to approach investigating this idea. And someone said that with a 12-inch sub, they delay it in 12 inches of time from the amount of time that it would take sound to travel 12 inches. And even though it's illogical, I thought, I'll just run a test. And sure enough, it fits in quite well. And then I decided to say, well, if you call the tweeter time 0 and the 12-inch time 12, then every other speaker in your system could be delayed in some sort of weird rationale like that, even though, untested and things like that. So the 8-inch gets delayed by the amount of time it takes sound to travel 8 inches. And so instead of starting the rise at the tweeter rise, it's now starting 8 inches back in time, which, I don't know, it's about 50 microseconds or something like that. And then the 2-inch speaker drivers I have, even though it's an array, I just, I could arbitrarily say 4-inch or 2-inch or whatever, but so I just did 2-inch. So that's delayed just off the tweeter on set. So the tweeter impulse starts, and then it's like 0.2 of a millisecond or 20 microseconds. Up comes the 2-inch, and that's this timing preset. And now back to exact time. And there is a tonal change because of the way that the frequencies stack in phase. So that's the delayed, and that's the stacked. So stacked, it has a brighter somewhere in there, but it also has a sort of a fuzzy, slightly more fuzzy forward, and this is the delayed. Everything's a lot more peaceful. It's laying back into the stage a bit. And so experimenting with timing this way has always been on my list of things to really nut out, and there's no logical way, like there's no final recipe for doing it, and it's all by ear. So anytime I'm happy with a setup, I at least do 2 or 3 variations by ear. So, but you've got to start somewhere logically, and an impulse is a good way to do that. So this is the impulse page. Separate program. This is Open Sound Meter. It's a free program. Here's the microphone. See if I can get one hand. So this is what I normally do with my phone, but since you guys are watching this on my phone, I'm filming. Hold the mic somewhere where it's going to make sense. for now, just in front of the camera relay. So this is just the mono impulse of everything up here, and now we'll examine the. I'll just make a marker. I'll turn off all this shit. So just for reference, a tweeter alone is over here, and we'll store it. And so now this orange one will be the tweeter. And maybe I'll just zoom in a bit for you. And depending on how I'm holding my mic, see the live trace will fluctuate to and from that orange marker. So what's just forgetting which one's which. And so preset 2 is on the button. So the high mid, the 2-inch starts here where the tweeter started. The 8-inch starts here where the tweeter started. And this one goes down just because of the way my crossovers work. There is actually a slight rise, but it doesn't show up. And the subs, which is really hard in this program. It's one of the downfalls. You have to turn it up a bit. But eventually you see when this comes down, the sub rising somewhere, but it's neither here nor there. You can sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. Alright, so that's that timing. Now this is the delayed timing, so tweeter again on the same spot. High mid, delayed, and it's almost like only a couple of cycles behind the tweeter. And then 8-inch. It like starts back here. And the 12-inch, when I got it to read properly, starts off way over here. So it's less than a millisecond for the sub. I think it's about 90 microseconds, which is 0.9 millisecond. So that's the difference in the timing on a live impulse display. I'll try and get this back for you. Yeah, so that was the one thing I was playing with. That was really loud. That's the delayed. I'll get you a different piece of music that has slightly different. So we're listening to Stacked. Now we'll listen to Slightly Delayed. Like sitting here, you think it's a tiny bit quieter, but it's really less hyped in that, let's say 1.5, 2.5. It's still on delayed. So just listening to that ch-ch-ch-ch and those snare drums. So not so hyped, and now in the stacked. Even here's some violas stick out a bit. Almost, yeah, different parts of this orchestration become heard. So it's almost like when I get these two things, I get something in my little system, I get something in my head, I might just leave these two buttons down here, for instance, just for driving, and I go, oh, time 1. It's delayed, yeah, time 2, stacked. and like several trips, several days, maybe 3 or 4 days, and I'll come to the conclusion that this or that was annoying me, or this or that just felt fine, or this song really opened up and blossomed, or this song was congested on one and not the other. So I still have my jury out on that delayed system, but the fact that it didn't wreck it and that it didn't sound delayed, and it's very interesting stuff, especially with my crossover design and what speakers actually do. So what speakers actually do is screw you over big time, because they're not going to give you a one-to-one theoretical phase response that you're looking for. And so that's why playing with the time is important, and not just believing in a certain formula of laying things out. When you're just looking to fine-tune your tunes, just do an A, B, A, B, C, and just, delay a few drivers here and there, and see what you think. All right, see you later, bunnies.